Hello everyone, welcome to the new session of Soil Management Part 2. In this session, we are going to study about chemical properties of soil, okay, and also the biological properties of the soil. We have covered up the physical properties of the soil in the last session, right? So chemical and biological properties we are going to study about, and also different soils of India. So let us start this session about chemical properties of soil. So the chemical properties determine the fertility of the soil. How fertile the soil is, it is determined by the chemical properties of the soil. So they are related to the ability of the soil to supply nutrients to the plants growing on under it. So this chemical properties determine what is the ability of the soil to supply the nutrients to the plant, right? And the chemical properties of the soil is depend on the chemical composition of the soil particles. So chemical properties depend upon the chemical composition, what type of minerals are present in the soil. So the chemical properties can be exhibited by soil pH. So these are the chemical properties. Number 1, soil pH, buffering capacity, electrical conductivity, nutrients released, cation exchange capacity. So all these things are very important. Number 1, soil pH, buffering capacity. 2, third is the electrical conductivity. 4th is the nutrient release, and the 5th one is the cation exchange capacity. So we will see what are these chemical properties and how they are determining the chemical properties of the soil. The first one is the soil pH, or the acidity of the soil. So soil pH shows the potentiality of the hydrogen ion concentration. So pH is, this is the definition of, in fact, the pH. So the soil pH is depends upon the potentiality of the hydrogen ion present in it. So it determines the acidic or alkaline reaction of the soil. So whether the soil is acidic or alkaline, it depends upon the pH of the soil. So more hydrogen ion concentration shows the acidic nature of the soil, while the concentration of more hydroxyl ion represent the alkaline nature of the soil, right? So this is very important to know what type of ions are present in the soil, right? Whether it is having large amount of hydrogen ion concentration or it is having large amount of hydroxyl ion concentration. So depending on that, the pH of the soil is determined. Neutral condition is produced by the equal concentration of hydrogen and OH ions. So there is also sometimes the neutral condition. Neutral condition means the amount of hydrogen and OH are equally present and neutralize its effect. Slightly acidic soil are more suitable for the plant growth. So if the soil are slight acidic, then it is good for growth of the plant. So the maximum nutrients are available to the crop. If the nutrients are available, lot of nutrient is present, but the pH is not suitable, it is not slightly alkaline, then that nutrient will not be available for the plant. So the pH, maintenance of this pH is very important, and this slightly acidic pH is around 6 to 5 to 7, right? So the maximum nutrients are available to the crops when the pH ranges between 6.5 to 7. So the soil pH can be measured by pH meter, pH paper method, or the pH scale. So we are having 3 different options to measure the soil pH, that is pH meter, pH paper method, or the pH scale even. Soil pH, or the acidity of the soil. pH scale has a range 0 to 14, we all know, with 7 as the neutral point. So it starts from 0 and at 14, right? And in between there is a 7 which shows the neutral position, right? And if it is reaching toward this, then it is highly acidic and it is highly basic, right? We all know this. So, which indicates the equal concentration of hydrogen ion and OH ion. So, at this particular, OH and hydrogen ion are equal. So, as the value decreases, it indicates higher concentration of hydrogen ion. So, depending upon whether hydrogen is increasing or OH ion is decreasing, right? So, if the hydrogen ion is slightly increasing, then it is good for the growth of the soil. Soil with the minimum pH are more acidic in nature. So similarly, as the pH goes above 7, alkaline reaction of the soil increases with the concentration of hydrogen ion. So if the hydrogen ion minimum pH, that is soil with minimum pH, that is more acidic in nature. Minimum pH means 1, 2, 3. Okay, and if it is 5.5 or it is 6 or it is 6.5, then it is in the lower range of pH. So this is higher pH and this is the lower. So similarly, as the pH goes above 7, alkaline reaction of the soil increases with the concentration of OH ions. Some of the effect of soil pH on the plants are: in general, the soil pH 6.5 to 7.5 is considered optimum for the maximum availability of the plant nutrients. So maximum amount of plant nutrients are present in the soil, but it is available at this particular pH 6.5 to 7.5. So this is important. Low pH, that is low than 6, result in the increase in the aluminium content in the soil. Aluminium content in the soil increases at lower pH. Its excess may be toxic to the plants, and lot of aluminium content is there. If it is present, then it may be toxic to the plant. So in general, the availability of the toxic material is more acidic soil. So more this soil is acidic, more toxic material will be accumulated in the soil, and that is not good for the soil. This affects the activity of the soil microorganism, and this also changes the composition of soil microorganism, because at higher acidic pH, these microorganisms will not survive. Buffering capacity of the soil. Second chemical property, that is buffering capacity of the soil. The capacity of the soil that resists a sudden change in its pH is called as the buffering capacity of the soil, right? That resist, that do not want to change, sudden change. Change in pH may affect the nutritional balance in the soil as well as microbial activity in it. So this is the change, that if this pH is changed sudden, right, then what will happen? The micro activity in the present in the soil, that will be affected. Carbonates, bicarbonates and phosphates act as a buffering agent in the soil. Very, very important for the examination point of view. So these are the some of the ions, right, that determine the buffering agent of the soil, that is the carbonates, bicarbonate and phosphate ions. The buffering capacity of the soil also depends on clay and organic matter present in it. So what type of organic matter is present, the amount of clay present in the soil, that also determine the buffering capacity of the soil. Third one is soil colloids. Soil colloids may be clay or humus. We all know what is humus, okay, the dead and organic matter, okay. Then when it's degraded means complex food material. When the dead and plants and animals are present, they're having lots of complex organic material, right, and it changes to simpler form with the effect of microorganisms, the chemicals which are present in the soil, the minerals which are present in the soil, and also the climatic factors. So all that changes that organic matter into the soil as a dead and decaying matter, and that ultimately forms the humus. So the clay found in the soil is known as inorganic colloid. So this particular clay material, clay is a particles of the soil, right, that has been formed from the rocks. So the clay found in the soil is known as inorganic colloid, while the humus which has been formed from the organism, and that is why it is called as organic colloid. Very, very important. So the soil colloids that are charged with the negative ions, that is anions, will attract positively charged ion, that is cations. So these soil colloids that is having the charged with the negative ions, okay, then they are called as anions, and they will attract the positive charge ion, that is the cations. Cations are held by soil colloids. So all these cations are held by the soil colloids. Cations with lower valency are replaced with ones having the higher valency. For example, sodium in the alkali soil are replaced by the calcium after the addition of the gypsum. So this is the change in the soil colloids that happens. Cation exchange capacity of the soil is higher if it has more clay and the humus content. So cation exchange capacity means lot of exchange of the cation takes place is higher when it has more clay and humus content. So CFC is denoted by C per mole per kg of the soil, the carbon that is present in per mole per kg of the soil. Cation exchange capacity, it is a measure of the potential of soil to hold cations, nutrients such as potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium, aluminium, iron, manganese, zinc, hydrogen ion, and also the copper ion. So the cation exchange capacity depends on these cations that are present in the nutrients. It is simple. In simple words, cation exchange capacity is the measure of the quantity of the cation that can be absorbed and held by the soil. So this is the capacity of the soil, that can be the quantity of cation that can be absorbed and held by the soil, that can capture and that can hold by the soil. So the highly fertile soil containing high organic matter have more cation exchange capacity. So if the soil is highly fertile, right, high fertile soil, that will have high organic content and have more cation exchange capacity. As we all know, if it is having the lots of clay and lots of humus, then it is having high organic matter, right? So that will also add the high cation exchange capacity. Soil fertility increases with the increase in high cation exchange capacity. So this is very, very important. If the soil is fertile, then it shows that it is having high cation exchange capacity. Now comes the biological properties. So the different types of organism and microorganism thrives in the soil. Mice, crabs, snails, earthworms, mites, millipedes, centipedes, fungi, bacteria, actinomycetes, many protozoa, and the nematodes are commonly found in the soil. So these are the different organisms that are present in the soil. They feed on plants' residues, whatever the litter is there, whatever the dead matter of the plants, the twigs, fruit, soil, okay, all that part of the plant that are present in the soil, they feed on them. So these organisms make channels and burrows in the soil, thereby increasing the aeration, in enhancing the percolation of water due to their activities. So they are making burrows, they are making small holes or homes of them, right? And what happened when water is there? Water can percolate in that soil. Okay, these holes also help to make channels through which the air can enter in the soil. That air is available for the growing of roots. Their excreta adds to the organic matter of the soil. In this also they are going to help. They are having lots of excreta of these organisms in the soil itself, and that changes to the organic matter, and they are adding the nutrients to the soil. Bacteria predominate neutral soil, while fungi are more in the acidic soil. So when the soil is neutral, it means more bacteria are there, and when the soil are slight acidic, then fungi are also present. Moist and shady soil favor the growth of algae. Very important. For the algae, the soil must be moist and shady. Soils of India. The soils of India can be classified into the different groups, such as black soil. When the soil color is black, then it is called as black soil. When the soil is red, then it is called as red soil. And laterite soil, alluvial soil, saline soil, desert soil, alkaline soil, forest soil, hilly soil, and peaty and marshy soil. So there are so many different types of soil that are present in India. So let us start one by one. Black soil, it is a dark gray to black in color and ranges from fertile to poor. Okay, so they are quite dark gray to black in color, and that ranges from fertile to poor. Sometime it is fertile, sometime it is not so fertile, so that is poor in fertility. The soil is rich in clay, that is montmorillonite particles, and had a neutral to slightly alkaline reaction. So they are having either neutral or slightly alkaline, not acidic. So the soil is rich in bases, lime and calcium. Very important. The pH of black soil ranges from 7.2 to 8.5. The soil is deficient in nitrogen, phosphate and organic matter, but rich in potash, calcium and magnesium. So this is the very important, showing the composition of nutrients in the soil. It is soft when wet but forms hard block when dry and develops deep crack. So accumulation of this rock or soil is soft when wet but forms hard blocks when dry and develops deep cracks in it. Black soil ranges from the heavy clay, that is ill-drained, to the loams, that is well-drained soil. When it is loamy, then it is well-drained soil, and when it is only clay soil is composition is more, then it is ill-drained, not well-drained. So the black soil is predominant in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Western Andhra Pradesh, Southern Tamil Nadu and the Northern Karnataka. Very important. Next is the red soil. Such soil result from the weathered material of metamorphic rock. Very important, metamorphic rock. Weathering material is of metamorphic rock. It is a porous and friable, neutral, acidic in reaction. So quite as neutral to acidic in nature. So this is good for the growth of the soil. Nitrogen, phosphate, lime and humus content are very low in this soil. Again, they are less in nitrogen, less in phosphate, less in lime, and also the humus content is also very less. It is found in the parts of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, northeast Andhra Pradesh, eastern parts of Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and in Rajasthan states. Next is the laterite soil. Laterite soil is formed in the areas receiving high rainfall with alternating wet and dry spells. So they are present where the areas which is having high rainfall with alternating wet and dry spells. So the soil is red to reddish yellow in color. Heavy rain causes leaching of the bases and silica from the surface of the soil. So when there is heavy rain, it causes leaching of the bases, like bases and silica material. The soil shows acidic character from pH 5 to 6 and it is poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, magnesium and lime even. Such soil is porous and well drained with the poor water holding capacity. So this particular is having poor water holding capacity. The soil is found in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Assam, Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra. So these are the states and also the parts of state in which this laterite soil is found. Next, fourth one is the alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is ideal for the horticultural crop. Very important point. Alluvial soil is ideal for the horticulture crops. Such soil is found along the rivers. So along the rivers where the water is sufficiently present. So they are present there. It consists of the material deposited by the rivers during the flood. So when there is a flood, lot of silt are present in that water. So that goes along the side of the river and get deposited. So that contain lot of that material that is brought by the flood river. Soil is productive but may be deficient in nitrogen, phosphorus and humus. So this is quite productive soil, right? But it is less in content of nitrogen, phosphorus and humus. The soil greatly differs in color, texture, drainage, presence or absence of sodium salts in it. It is suitable for the cultivation of vegetables, flowers and fruits. That is why it is called as good for horticulture. The soil is found in all states of India along the rivers. So every river along the coast of the river. So these types of soil, alluvial soil is present, right? The Indo-Gangetic soil is the best example of the alluvial soil present in India or found in India. Next is the desert soil. Desert soil is a sandy soil and it is found in the low rainfall areas. Such soil is alkaline in nature with high pH value and it is unproductive. So no growth of the crop plant is there. So it is called as unproductive because of its high alkalinity. It is rich in soluble salts and poor in nitrogen and organic matter content. So it is having lots of soluble salt present in it, poor in nitrogen and organic matter content. The physical conditions of the soil are unfavorable as it is have long water holding capacity due to the high sand content. Desert soil is found in the parts of Rajasthan. So this particular soil is also found in the parts of Rajasthan. Forest and hilly soil. These are the shallow soils of the higher and the lower elevation in the hills. So generally this particular type of soil is found in the hilly region. These are stony and interfertile for the production of crop. They are low in bases and slightly acidic in reaction. Saline or alkaline soil. Saline soil shows the white incrustation of salts, chlorides and sulfates of sodium, calcium and magnesium. So the saline are due to the presence of this chloride and the sulfates of sodium, calcium and magnesium salts on the surface due to the high evaporation during the summer. So what happened? These salts are present in the soil, and when there is a lot of evaporation during the time of summer, all these salts are there. Okay, so it is called white alkali soil. Such soils are generally infertile and poor in drainage. Such soil is formed as a result of saline irrigation water and over the irrigation of long time, which raises the water table of the soil. Alkaline soil is rich in carbonates and bicarbonates of the sodium and is non-porous. So there is no porous, no clay and humus is there. So no porous. They are having lots of carbonates and bicarbonates of sodium. It is called as black alkali or ooser soil. Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Kerala, coastal Odisha, Sundarban region of the West Bengal contain large patches of such soil. peaty and marshy soil. This soil is highly acidic in nature and black in color. Excessive wetness of the soil causes decay and degradation of the dead vegetation, forming a layer of partially decomposed organic matter, resulting into the peaty and the marshy soil. So excessive wetness of the soil causes the decay and the degradation of the dead vegetation, and they form a peat matter, okay, and resulting into the peaty and marshy soil. Such type of soil is generally found in the states like Tamil Nadu, parts of Bihar, and also in Uttar Pradesh. Soil reclamation and or improvement. Soil that are more acidic, alkaline or saline in nature are not desirable for the cultivation of crops. So the soil which are more acidic, more alkaline or more saline, that are not good for the cultivation of crops. So such soil do not favor desirable nutrient supply to the plants or support the beneficial activities of the microbes. So the microbes are not able to survive in such an acidic or alkaline type of soil. The extreme agroclimatic condition affect the physical, chemical and the biological properties of such soil and create unfavorable environment within. Acidic soil are mostly found in the areas receiving high rainfall, which causes leaching of the bases and salt. So all the soil that are present that got leached bases and salt, so they causes acidic soil. Saline and alkaline soil are mostly found in the arid and the dry region where the rate of evaporation is quite high. The soluble salt from the lower layer of the soil come up and get accumulated due to the evaporation of the moisture. So these soils are not suitable for the most of the crop, or crop yield is poor. Causes of acidic soil. Soil develops from the acidic rock like granite are acidic in nature. So the soil which has been developed from the acidic rock, they contain granite or acidic in nature. So heavy rains or the irrigation leach down bases lime deep within the soil, thereby increasing the soil acidity. So when the soil get leached by, they causes acidity of the soil. Application of ammonium sulfate and ammonium chlorides as a fertilizer for increasing the soil acidity. The decomposition of organic matter present in the soil by the various microorganisms result in the production of organic acid, which may also increase the soil acidity, right? So when the decomposed organic matter that is present in the soil by the various microorganism, okay, microorganism feed on that and they produce a lot of microorganic matter that result in the production of organic acid, and that also causes the acidity of the soil. Effects of soil acidity on plants. Soil acidity has a toxic effect on the root tissue. Okay, so they are having quite toxic to the root tissue. It affects its permeability of cations from the plant's membrane. Soil acidity also changes the ratio between the basic and acidic composition within the plant. So within the plant itself, it also changes the ratio of acid and base. It adversely affects the beneficial soil microorganisms. So microorganism cannot survive in this such an acidic soil. Aluminium, manganese, iron are highly soluble in acidic medium and thus become very toxic to them. Soil acidity lowers the calcium and the potassium content in the soil. So this also affects the acidity of the soil, and this soil acidity lower the calcium and potassium content that is not available to the soil. The availability of the phosphorus, copper and zinc in the soil affected due to the soil acidity. Plant diseases are also more prevalent in the acidic soil. So acidic soil are not good for the crop. Correction of soil acidity. How to correct them? Then soil acidity can be corrected by liming. Lime is applied into the soil at the time of land preparation or plowed land, and about 1500 kg of lime per hectare is required to raise the pH of the soil by 1 unit. Limestone, burnt lime, or the slake lime can also be used to correct the acidity of the soil. Lime increases the phosphorus, nitrogen, potassium, and molybdenum content of the soil, so that also increases the fertility of the soil. Next is saline soil. How saline and alkaline soil are there? In such a soil, white layer of the soil commonly seen at the surface. So at the surface you can see salt, white colored salt. So this is due to the presence of excess of chlorides and sulfates of sodium, calcium, and magnesium. So this is the white layer that is having excess of chloride, for sulfates of sodium and calcium and magnesium. It contains enough soluble salt interfere with the growth of the most crop plants. The presence of the exchangeable sodium is less than 15% and the pH is around 8.5, that is quite high, and the electrical conductivity, that is 4 dsm per meter, and it or more at 25 degrees centigrade. Such soil contain adequate quantity of soluble salt. Beside exchangeable sodium is more, that is 15% in the soil. The pH of the saline alkaline soil is 8.5 or more, and EC value is around 4 dsm at 25 degrees centigrade. Alkaline soil is poor in aeration and drainage, so it is not good for the growth of the crop plant. It is having 8.5 to 10 pH. The presence of exchangeable sodium is more than 15%. Okay, and the high sodium content present in the soil is often toxic for the growth of the crop. So this is all about this session, right? We will have some more session to complete this soil management topic. Till then, thank you very much.